We're back with the extreme heat here. We have big problems with the electricity cutting out and the Wi-Fi. So let's pray. It is not sufficient to believe. It is necessary above all to be examples of goodness and tolerance. Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, connecting finally from all over Mother Earth to the portal of the Casa de Dom Ignacio, the house of love, where the medicine is love, here in Abidjan, in the heart of Brazil. And we have the current running. It's a beautiful Casa day, and we put our intention into doing the best work we possibly can. We have another glorious day here, although it's extremely hot. It's the end of the dry season, so it never gives up without a fight. And we're bearing the elements well. There are clouds in the sky, which is great to block the intense sunshine, and we have a deep blue sky, the colour of the Casa, and the protection and the love of our Divine Mother Mary, her mantle. And the birds are in the shade, but they're still doing what they do best, serenading us in a divine symphony. And in the waterfall there are so many butterflies, and the big blue butterflies are back to remind us of our transformation as we shift dimensions. Painful endings are bright new beginnings. So let us embrace this necessary divine work. Wherever you are in the world, let's relax as much as we can. If you're lying down, great. If you're under a crystal bed, even better. And if you prefer to sit upright as we do in the current in the Casa, with our heads elevated just a little, don't block your body in any way, and allow this beautiful energy to flow fluidly, freely and easily through each and every one of us, like a river, connecting us across the miles, a current of love and light. And if you remember to put a glass of water beside you, this will be blessed, and we will drink it at the end of the work to nourish us, mind, body and spirit. And this work can only be manifested by having our eyes closed as we leave the physical world behind with all of its stresses, its difficulties, its problems. We open our spiritual eyes where we can see beyond appearances all there is. We are reminded again and again that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and not the other way around. We're not the body, we're so much more. The body merely houses our eternal spirits. And we are reminded also that we have so much help from beyond the veil. There are so many beautiful entities of light and love working with us 24/7 through the portal of the Casa de Dom Ignacio, the house of love, where the medicine is love. For many of us, our spiritual home. And today we honour our beautiful Dr. Augusto de Almeida. And we love Dr. Augusto. He tirelessly works 24/7 with us, and he was one of the most frequently incorporated entities of the Casa and performed most of the interventions at the Casa, physical and non-physical. And he told us in 2003 that he was elevated to another level, and he was now the sheriff of that particular realm beyond the veil, which is helpful to us because the more spiritual work we do on this physical plane here, we too are ascending into the light. And the entities, by helping us from beyond the veil, they too are moving upwards and onwards into the different higher realms. So this is a beautiful reminder that the work we are dedicating ourselves here in the material world makes a huge difference for our spiritual evolvement. And of course, we've been on the planet so many times before. Dr. Augustus told us he had been in the military, he was a surgeon, a rubber tapper in other incarnations, and his last incarnation he worked as a gold miner in the northeast of Brazil. It was 112 years ago that he was liberated back home into the light. So he is still very much present with us here in these challenging days on earth. And when he was a physician and a surgeon, it was before the development of anesthesia, and he saw much suffering. And he tells us that his patients would endure the pain of surgery by biting on bits of wood or pieces of thick cloth. So we have come a long way in many ways here on earth. And as an enlightened spirit, Dr. Augusto is dedicated to alleviating pain and suffering. And he can be very serious about his work. He's a strong personality and a very authoritative manner. He doesn't like to be interrupted as he works. He expects order and respect. And though he is often strict, he is incredibly gentle, loving and gracious. And he has a very good manner about him. He just wants to help, which is beautiful, like all of the entities. And of course, he is so wonderful that when he incorporated into Medium Joao's body, Medium Joao took on the attributes of Dr. Augusto. As you can see, his eyes are brown and Medium Joao's eyes are blue. So he also became quite tall and very militaristic when he was incorporated, and he worked in the blink of an eye. He worked very, very fast, which was a joy to us when we were working in these very long currents. And a few years ago, very memorably, he performed a liver transplant with a team of Casa entities. In one of the posadas here in Abidjania, the girl didn't even reach the gates of the Casa. The liver transplant was done at night time, and she received 28 stitches, I believe, physically, black, crude Dr. Augusto stitches in her body. And it was phenomenal work, but it was just showing us the power of God. And for many it might be a leap of faith, but for us who witnessed this work here, and many, many more, this is just one example, we are certainly working with the power of God through this beautiful portal of the Casa de Dom Ignacio. And Dr. Augusto is by our side always. We just need to reach out to him and ask him to help us. And of course, he is not alone, ever. Dr. Augusto tells us that his falange or group of entities is not 10 or 100. It is thousands and thousands of entities of light and love, sent by God to help us, protect us, and love us. And Dr. Augusto tells us he will go to the depths to save one soul. This is how much compassion and love these magnificent entities have for us. So as we embrace this beautiful high vibration and realize that many of the Casa entities work with the Christ consciousness. Some of them bore the stigmata of our brother Jesus, Saint Rita on her forehead, the crown of thorns. St. Francis of Assisi, all 5 wounds of our brother Jesus, the stigmata, the first recorded stigmata in human history, and of course more recently our beautiful brother St. Padre Pio also bore the 5 wounds of Jesus, and another wound on his shoulder of carrying the cross. So these are very well documented phenomena, and of course we have faith and believe in this wonderful power of God that we're working with. So let us turn now to our wonderful brother Jesus, always present with us through the portal of the Casa, as we say the Lord's Prayer, translated from its original Aramaic, the language of Jesus and Mary. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past errors. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose. Rather, illuminate the opportunities of this present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth power and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. And we turn now to our Divine Mother, the Mother's heart, the feminine power. Mother Earth, Queen of Peace, we ask you in this sacred moment to intercede for us, your children, to somehow alleviate the suffering of humanity in these challenging days now on earth, and helping us to go within on the journey of the heart, and to find deep, deep within us the peace, the harmony, the compassion, the tranquility, the humility, the gratitude, the joy, the love, the forgiveness, deep, deep within us. And it is within all of us. We are divine beings, helping us all carnate and disincarnate on our healing journey, back home, merging into the light, out of separation, into oneness, one heart, one soul, one light, one love, one family. Our Mother, who is the void that creates all matter, let we be one. Let we be one. Let we be one. Nourish us every moment through the power of now. Help us to elevate our often wounded and fearful hearts to the purity of love and compassion. Shield us always, enfolding us in your starry night sky, and deliver us from judgment and separation. Amen.
preciso de você. Só quero você. Um amor na minha vida é você. O meu desejo é você. Meu Deus, dai-me paz na mente, que sua luz me acalme, que sua luz cresça em mim. Meu Deus, sou grata pela libertação, sou grata pelo perdão, sou grata pelo presente da vida, eu devolvo pra você. Só preciso de você.